Welcome to another edition of What Barrie's Talking About from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely. On this week's program, we launched into summer last weekend after what many feel was a disappointing spring. What does that mean for summer? Anything? We find out in our regular seasonal visit with climatologist David Phillips. Government spent a lot of time and money helping young people buy their first homes and helping the homeless find a home, but you don't hear much about help for seniors. We do today. Barrie native Jessie Eldridge hopes she's found a more permanent home on the professional women's hockey league circuit. She signed on with the Montreal Victoire after splitting her time between New York, Seattle, and Boston in the league's short history. Oh, and she'll be back home this summer conducting her first hockey camp for kids. And singer-songwriter Bif Naked will be back in town this weekend helping with the Gilda's Club Community is Stronger Than Cancer fundraising walk. You know, she's a cancer survivor. We get the conversation started after this. This is What Barrie's Talking About from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely, joined once again by climatologist David Phillips, and we're sitting here, David, beautiful morning, Barrie waterfront, couple of days ahead of summer, but the big question everybody has is what happened to spring?
Well, exactly. And I'm glad we're meeting today. I think this is the best day of the entire week.
You told me early in the week to bring an umbrella, but we don't need it today.
No, but certainly spring has been disappointment to a lot of people. And I think the reason for that, I mean, it was followed by a cold winter.
Mm-hmm.
We had winter, and yet, Dan, last fall was the warmest fall on record. I mean, talk about like going from flip-flops from one extreme to the other. I mean, that's really, to me, the definition of weather whiplash. You know, where you just absolutely, you know, we're used to the moderation, you know, easing into it, but to go from one to the other is a little hard for us to take. And winter was tough. I mean, I just speak a comment about winter just to set up for the spring. It was certainly snowier than normal, 400 centimeters of snow. About I'm thinking about 50% more snow than we normally get. Every month, November, December, January, February, were colder than normal. And also the number of days colder than normal, below -20, were a few more than normal. So tough. And people in Barrie and the Lake Simcoe area were just anxious to see a new season.
Oh, yeah.
And bring it on. And what spring has been disappointing because it's been more winter-like than not. It is certainly not record cold, but when you look at it, Canada has been very cold this spring. It's the coldest we've seen in 24 years. I'm talking about March, April, May, and into June. And it's certainly been the coldest, say, in 14 years. So it's not something that we're used to, especially following a cold winter. We just feel it's unfair. You know, what's nature doing to punish us for this? And certainly from a temperature point of view, yeah, May was cold, about almost a half a degree colder than normal. March, April were disappointing, but yet they were still a little warmer than normal, but you wouldn't know it. And yet the irony is we've had 4 days where our temperature's been above 30. I mean, Dan, that's a half a year's worth of hot days. We've had them, but what we got after them were frost warnings.
Yeah.
I mean, so they didn't count. They were like one-offs, you say. And so overall, I think, and wet. It was so wet. I mean, we've had for the last 8 months, every one of those months has been wetter than normal, either more snow than normal or more rain than normal. And then certainly in spring, we've had almost 60% more precipitation than normal. And you can tell by the green grass. You see water levels are up a little bit. They had been down, but they're up now. And farmers have to be happy. I mean, the only thing is they're saying we need more heat to get the crops growing. I mean, they've got the water. There's no risk. I mean, if anybody mentions the word drought this summer, I'll be surprised, you say, because there's just a lot of moisture that we've had so far. So spring has been, I would say it's been teasers, you know, a little bit of this and then and then back into what spring is like. It is often the shortest season for us in Canada, but it just seemed to go on and had the same kind of definition of it. Is just that it was just not that pleasant. We were praying for Bermuda highs, and we didn't get them. We got a lot of storms coming up from the United States, and wasn't as violent as what they've seen with tornadoes and hail and flooding. But we certainly had the tail end of those, and so they tended to be a wetter. And then when that system moved away, you had that cold air from the north coming in.
So what do you see in the crystal ball and the computers and AI now, too, apparently,
Yes.
for the summer?
Well, I mean, I think that officially Environment Canada said that this summer was going to be warmer than normal. But not everybody was agreeing to that. And I think we've backed off a little bit on that. When we look at, for example, we said June, July, August is going to be warmer than normal. But now we're saying, well, July, August, and September looks like it's going to be warmer than normal. But I look at the weekly forecast and I say, it's what I would describe as comfortable, but not hot. It's not cold, not even coolish. It's just sort of like kind of comfortable and healthy kind of weather. We've seen the number of forest fires in Ontario this year is a fraction of what they were last year. So we're not, and then the very hot days that we had last year. I mean, one of the things I'm still like shortly about is the fact that we had more hot days last summer than Toronto did. That's never happened before. Well, we won't even come close to it this year. I mean, we had 27 of those suckers last year. We've had 4 so far, and we're really into the warm season, and we should be getting more of those. So my sense is that it's going to be what I would describe as average kind of a summer. It's really not hot, not cold, but it'll be pleasant. It's comfortable. It's healthy. So the air quality would be good. It probably would mean less stormy weather because, again, you get storms when that warm air dukes it out with cold air. I mean, sometimes I think a disappointing summer could be a very hot June when vacation hasn't started and kids are still in school. So if all the summery kind of weather, which you dreamed of when you were a kid and you remember from summers, well, that may be just the July, August. And then, of course, last year we had that warmest fall on record. So it could just be delayed.
David, always a pleasure. Thanks for the insight for the summer. We'll compare notes again in the fall, maybe back at this same bench. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Housing solutions, we seek them out for the homeless. We look for opportunities to get young people into their first homes. But what about seniors? Simcoe County has a Seniors Housing Alliance, which looks at housing solutions for seniors, finding it tough to make ends meet, and others who have housing but don't need all those bedrooms and all that space anymore. Barrie 360's Ian McLennan hearing all kinds of ideas, especially one modeled after TV's Golden Girls. He's with Alliance Chair Gwen Kavanagh and Vice Chair Marshall Green.
So explain for us, what is the Seniors Housing Alliance of Simcoe County, and why did it come to be?
Well, when I was employed by the County of Simcoe for a number of years, when I left the county, when I retired, they asked me to stay involved with senior services. Shortly after that, I met Gwen, who at that point was the local representative, president of the local chapter of CARP for this area. She was very much involved in looking for housing for seniors through mostly the idea came from a friend of hers. And I'll let Gwen explain that friend's idea and why we picked it up as something that might be good for Simcoe County.
Now, there's talk in the media quite often. I know the Premier has addressed it, so is at the federal level, about affordability crisis. And a lot of the focus, and rightfully so, younger generation getting into the housing market, but we have a lot of seniors who may have to leave the housing market, for health reasons or what have you. And in your pamphlet, your role is to address the current and impending seniors housing crisis in our region. Are we not talking about that? Are we ignoring it?
No, it's part of the whole. We feel that there are a lot of seniors that could move into other options, freeing up houses for families where now they're using 1 bedroom and there's a 3 or 4 bedroom house that could be available for that family. We want them to move into some options that are better for them. not into expensive retirement homes, and in many cases they don't have family they can move in with. So we are addressing that missing middle with options. You can put a senior with a student for lower rent and doing some chores. You can do home modifications to stay in your home, or you can do the Golden Girl theory where 4, 5, or 6 seniors share a purpose-built home.
Our main thrust has been the Golden Girls model. That's what we're trying to get as a pilot project. We actually even have a developer. We have the city on site at this point, and we're working with the county now to get the remaining funding. The idea being that this developer would build a small apartment building, say 3-4 flights, in which there'd be a number of seniors living on each floor who would share duties. They would, and the most important thing, of course, is socialization. That seems to be what seniors need most, is the idea of living together and having useful lives for the last part of their lives.
Well, you mentioned that the National Institute on Aging did a survey, and Canadian Press picked up it in January, that financial insecurity and loneliness are really dampening how Canadians feel about their golden years.
Absolutely. The loneliness is a major problem, such that in Britain, there now actually is a ministry of loneliness that's trying to address this issue. As people lose their friends, either through death or by moving, they need new circles. And we think that this Golden Girls model will be something that seniors would welcome, even if for nothing else, just the socialization aspects.
So is this the idea of giving seniors who can still, get out into the community another option other than going to a retirement home that maybe they really don't want to be there yet or feel they need to be there?
Yes, and can they even afford it? Because we all know they're very expensive. And there will be maybe that bottom 20% that will need family help or municipal help. But for that missing middle, we have created other options. And we do feel that co-housing, which was brought to me by Shelley Raymond of Salterra Co-housing, where 4, 5, or 6 seniors share a purpose-built house. As I said, they each have their own private suite, bedroom, bathroom, sitting area, and share all the rest. So it helps with the socialization, which is really good for their health. They eat better. They have less chance of elder abuse, less chance of scams. The family do not have to become caregivers. And they also support themselves. They're not going to be using the taxpayer's dollar.
And do they have people coming in to meet their needs then?
So in A house is the Golden Girls, where they're quite capable. A B house, maybe they'll need help 1 or 2 days a week. And then eventually it'll be a C house where they will need help. So we have a convener that puts the right people together in the first place, helps set up the house with proper rules and the monthly meeting where they pay expenses, etc. But eventually when they need help, that convener will help them decide. But they decide, and then we'll bring them people to fill those roles that they need. But again, they decide who they hire.
That independence is so important.
It is. They keep that, and they'll pay by contract, so they don't have to do payroll. But they still have say in their lives.
What is important to realize, though, is that our organization, the Seniors Housing Alliance for Simcoe County, we're not developing these homes. We're trying to advocate to various developers, to government agencies, and others to get them to build these kinds of facilities for seniors. And we're hoping in the near future to be able to offer directories where the seniors can find services like occupational therapists, like home modifiers, because that's one thing that often modifying your own home is something that you can do and live in that home for longer.
When you launched into this, was this even on any level of government's radar?
No. I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting in Bracebridge where I met Shelley Raymond, who did the first co-house in Canada. She had looked at what other countries were doing it, and she did it for her own family out of desperation. And that was the first one. I saw the members that were living there, how happy they were. They were so excited and bubbly to have us come through and see everything. And she had her own father who lived there until the last 2 weeks of his life. So I saw it in practice and was very impressed.
And it's so much less expensive. I know when my mother-in-law was in a long-term care home, it was roughly $6,800 a month Shelley showed us that in her model, the Golden Girls model, where they share all these facilities, is something like $1,700 a month. And not only that, but a statistic that I thought was amazing was that there are 300,000 unused bedrooms in the province of Ontario. That's seniors who can't find an alternative, so they're staying in their family home much longer than they need to and much longer than they should.
We know the government's, focused on building houses, more houses, X amount over 10 years. They can't hit that target. So what drives you that, obviously you're optimistic this can move forward.
I have been working on this for a number of years, as I said, and it hasn't mattered which government was in place.
Right.
I couldn't get them to look at how serious, what a crisis we had coming, and we are there now. And they want to build all these long-term homes, which will take 5 or 10 years to build, but we go the other way starting in 2040. What are they going to use all those big empty buildings for? Whereas if they would help us finance these, homes that we want to build for co-housing, and they can be used later for intergenerational. They will be of use as long as they exist.
When you figure that the 300,000 unused bedrooms in the city, in this province of Ontario, how many homes would be freed up for younger couples to buy to begin with. And I know that when I was at the county, one of the big concerns they had was that they were building retirement homes and long-term care homes, which are purpose-built buildings. When the seniors bubble bursts, which everybody says is about 20 years, they're going to have on their hands half-used or unused purpose-built homes that can't be repurposed.
Are the people doing the planning not thinking long-term, or they can't be unaware?
We have been trying very hard to get developers and the city and MPs, MPPs to look at what we're saying, and it was deaf ears. Really, it was deaf ears, because we really think that this is the answer. It keeps them out of the taxpayer's dollar. It helps the family, the sandwich generation, because they do not have to become caregivers. It's a safer, friendlier, more practical life for the senior. They can travel. They can do so many things now that they aren't able to do when they stay in their own home. But they stay in the community.
But I think you've hit a good point, though, is that right now the crush has been on getting more homes built for the young couples who can't afford them. And people really aren't thinking about the other end of the spectrum, the older people who are living in homes that are unsuited for them. And we really could have a solution to both problems if we are able to get more alternatives for the seniors, get them out of their neighborhoods where young people should be living, and get them into homes that are better for them, better care and better socialization for them.
And for people who are struggling financially, as we hear quite often, seniors using food banks, homelessness among seniors, is there anything in the equation here that would be a benefit for a person who, seniors are low income? You talked about the long-term care, $6,000 compared to $1,700.
Right off the bat, there's cheaper housing. But on top of that, I know that the county has been looking for us at what they call affordability money. And the Ministry of Housing, Gwen and I had a talk with them, and they were quite excited at that point about the idea of being able to subsidize these kinds of homes and help a lot more people than are being helped right now.
So where are you at right now? You've referenced, Marshall, a developer that is interested, needs some financial help. So as an advocacy organization in Simcoe County, what are the next steps?
Well, I think the directories we plan to put on our website, which we are working at on our next meeting, because we want to educate people. We want them to know that there are options out there that they haven't even thought of. We want developers to say, oh my God, there's a market I just missed. And I don't think real estate's that great right now. So here's a real opportunity they should be pursuing. And as we said, a lot of these seniors won't have the money if something happens for all the help they might need, but they can sell that house, buy in, have money left over. And as I said, they get to stay in the community, which is very important for most of them.
The ministry gives affordability money to the counties, to the municipalities. We're hoping that the municipalities will learn that some of that affordability money, when spent on seniors, benefits the seniors and the young people who are looking for homes as well.
It benefits a community?
It does.
Absolutely.
We are joined now by Barrie native Jessie Eldridge, a PWHL player. I guess a journeywoman now. You're on the road again, going someplace else.
Yeah, I guess so. A little closer to home.
Came out on the weekend that you're joining the champion Montreal team.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I think I've enjoyed my time in the league. This is the first time that I've gotten kind of to pick where I'm at. So hopefully this will be my home for a long time.
I'm beginning to wonder whether you're trying to play for every team in the league at some point.
Yeah, my merch closet's getting pretty big. Lots of jerseys.
So you're hoping to be in Montreal for a while. This is going to be a long stop for you.
That's the plan. That's the hope. I think moving it's hard, especially on the dog, I feel. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Definitely was looking for a place that I felt confident that I could be there for a while.
So how did that all come about? Because it wasn't on our radar, but apparently on yours.
Yeah, I think it was definitely an interesting experience. It was the first kind of time I had in the women's side of the game. I lived in Montreal for a couple of years after I graduated from Colgate, so a lot of my friends here still play as well. I think it was just kind of connecting with them, seeing how well the team's done, and just trying to win again.
Tell me about the entire experience up to this point. It's been a couple of years, and yeah, you've done some moving around, but you're doing very well. What, 5th in scoring and 8th in points or something like that?
No, thank you. I think been able to play with some great players along the way too. So excited to do that in Montreal as well. I think it's just been a lot of fun. I think the league continues to grow, and when you wake up and get to go play a game in front of 15,000 plus people, it's really easy to go out there and give your best. So I've been lucky in that way.
And are you seeing excitement in every city you go to? Again, it's pretty new, but, as you said, 16,000 people coming out to watch you play, and it's growing every day.
For sure. I think the Canadian markets, you can tell the hockey is Canada's sport. The U.S. is catching up in that way and continues to grow. But I do think there's a special feeling every game you play in Canada.
You have something very special. I mean, while you're getting things organized in Montreal, you've got something very special happening this summer.
Yeah, I'm excited to be running my first camp at home, August 14th to 16th, for all-female camp, girls U11, U13, and U15. Be hosted in Bradford. It's the first time I feel like in a while I'll be able to connect with a lot of the young girls playing hockey back home, and really excited to see everyone.
Well, you have a lot of connections back here still, too, don't you?
Yeah, my dad's still coaching the junior Sharks, so he's very much involved with kind of the older group, but hopefully being able to see a bunch of the younger girls and hopefully make some more Montreal fans.
All-encompassing camp from goaltenders right out to forwards?
Yeah, for sure, and all skill levels welcome. I think it's just an opportunity for us to get on the ice and share our one love that we have for the game and have some fun during the summer.
Any teammates coming along for that ride with you?
Yeah, we're going to have some special guests, but those are going to be announced a little later on.
What are the dates again, and how can people get involved?
August 14th to 16th in Bradford. I have a Facebook page right now, Jessie Eldridge Hockey, and everything's on there, registration form, there's an email, and some more information.
Looking forward to the camp. Looking forward to the new season on the championship squad. So you're defending the championship next year, which is going to be exciting too.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a fun place to play. Every time I played in Montreal's rink, it's been loud, and I'm excited for me to be the home team. And there's mine right there.
Yeah, someone else is excited too.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks so much for talking with us today. Congratulations on the signing. Congratulations on the camp. And we'll look forward to seeing you drop by the studio one day again soon.
For sure. Sounds good. Thank you.
A special guest stopping by Gilda's Club Simcoe Muskoka this weekend, singer Bif Naked, not just taking part in the Community is Stronger Than Cancer walk, but performing as well. MJ from the Rock 95 morning crew tracked her down for a chat.
You're a busy woman and you have your hand in a lot of things. So what made Gilda's Club special to you to be part of this?
Oh my gosh, so many reasons. As you guys know, Gilda's Club is a wonderful organization. They provide so many things to members in the community. I'm a cancer survivor, and for me, what has always been an amazing thing is the network of other cancer patients, families, and survivors. That's gotten me through my treatments. And over the years, as a survivor, being a peer-to-peer volunteer has been something that continues to be of great joy in my life and gives me meaning and enables me to kind of help other patients and their families. And so Gilda's Club is a great fit for me. And when they asked me, it was an easy yes. I couldn't wait to be a part of this. And it's the inaugural walk. So hopefully this is just the first time and it'll be a forever event.
Gilda's Club here is really important to us in the region because it's one of the only ones that operates the way that it does here in Simcoe Muskoka. Did you have something like that to help you on your journey?
So for me, at the time that I was going through my breast cancer, there wasn't even Facebook.
Yeah.
So there were no blogs. There was not a lot of different resources. And I was involved in a clinical trial that put other women together in a room. We were all chemo patients at the time, and we were in an exercise study. And were it not for the other chemo patients in the exercise trial, I don't know how I would have gotten through. For us to be together, and we would go walking together, and we just formed this little bond. We had monthly dinners, and we just, we really are now lifelong friends. We still support one another, in our survivorship, and it enabled me to become a volunteer. And now, of course, I'm a palliative care volunteer. Now here in Toronto. At the time I was in Vancouver, and it showed me the way. And Gilda's Club is exactly the same thing. It's like a clubhouse. To have those wellness supports for patients and families is integral for people to be able to get through treatment and to carry on beyond treatment time.
And what can we expect from you on Saturday? This is really exciting. They're celebrating their birthday. It also would have been Gilda Radner's birthday as well.
Well, definitely it's going to be a celebration for sure. The walk alone is, the end of the walk alone is a great success. And it's going to be a party. We love to perform. We love to play all the songs that people have come to know and enjoy. Like Spaceman and Lucky, and I Love Myself Today. So definitely we'll be playing those songs. And hopefully everyone will enjoy a nice outdoor show in the afternoon. Everyone will be there. Bring the whole family. It's free. And, it's a celebration. Gilda would have been 80. And, it's going to be a wonderful event.
And then just stepping away from this for a moment, can you tell me a little bit about what you've been up to in other areas of your life? I know you've been doing some acoustic performances. And like I said, you're always keeping busy. So what's going on with you?
So last year we had a documentary that came out. It's on Super Channel, and it was really a story about. It's very humbling that anyone wanted to make a documentary about my life and career. But the interesting thing about it was I'm an adopted kid, as a lot of people may know, and my birth story is more interesting because my birth mom lives in Wasaga Beach. And I don't know if a lot of people know that, but my whole family is from the area. And so she and I connected when I was 21 years old. I was born in India. And so the fact that my mom and I could connect again and be, a family after all those years and so many miles apart and such an incredible story. She's interviewed in my documentary, and she shares her story and my story of origin, and it's really amazing. I encourage everybody to go and watch it if they can. We've been doing screenings across the country all year where I do, the acoustic performances and a Q&A with the documentary.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, MJ.
And that's our program for this week. Thanks to Ian and MJ for their input, to Logan for his technical expertise, to Gio for getting the word out, and to you for listening. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to What Barrie's Talking About. You can also keep up with What Barrie's Talking About on Blue Sky and X at Barrie360, on our website, Barrie360.com, and there's our daily Kickstart podcast available from any streaming service and on our website. I'm Dan Blakely. Hope you'll join us again next week.